Good evening, Dr. Vitale and respected board members. My name is Liliana Excel, representing Oceanside High School at today's board presentation. Our moral compass and Oceanside High School is a collaborative community of persevering critical thinkers with heart and core values who are goal-oriented, lifelong learners contributing to global society on the policies. Hello, board members. Again, my name is Liliana Excel, and I'm the ASC president, partnership president, SFC representative, as well as an NHS and North Prep College, plus much more. And I am more and very honored to be speaking on behalf of Oceanside today. Our voyage highlights. Our campus vacation this summer, our home of the Pirates was completely repainted, so our Pirates, old and new, were very pleased to see our campus once we opened. Our Wellness Center is returning for year 2 and continues to bring assistance to our Pirate community, and the center has been such a success it has inspired other schools to set up similar programs. This year, our Pirate family has grown majorly, and we have now gone over 12,000 students, with the largest freshman class we have seen in decades. Students have also received new Chromebooks this time for senior year. We've also had our welcome back rally, back to school night, club rush, and the focus of all of these 3 events, which were very successful, was giving OHS students exposure to all the opportunities on deck and get them to connect with their Pirate family. We also have a new fall addition to our athletic teams. We have started a girls flag football team and have started to make history for OHS. Volleyball recently won their first tournament this last weekend, and our student section is booming with some Pirate pride. These are some photos of our back to school rally, back to school night, club rush, and rally, and our first home game of the season. Our Lady Flag football Pirates are hard at work currently, as it is their first couple games of the season. Volleyball hitting goal and football locking in and getting better every week. And we have our rising star, Alex Gonzalez, our Pirates of the Month, which were Marley Soto, Adnan Lopez Moreno, Marco Sanchez Torres, and Ron Carter. And our proud pirate, Mr. David Colt, our bouncing pirate, Angelica Zamora, and that wraps up that. Thank you so much for your time.
We will now go with El Camino High School at Rosario Marino Chavez.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to Board President Mrs. Alvarez and the rest of the board members, to Superintendent Dr. Vitale and executive staff, and also our present this evening for giving me time to speak. My name is Alexandra Lima Chavez. I'm the ASC President and Student Representative for El Camino High School. For classroom culture, we have students in Ms. Sargent's English class who's learning about classroom expectations and got to know each other in a collaborative assignment. Each team presented a small poster and explained part of the syllabus to the class. Our ASC LTA students had an opportunity during March on Friday to cool down as part of the ASC LTA during the monitoring talks. EC has girls flag football. A few weeks ago, our new El Camino girls flag football team had their first official game and secured their first win against Sage Creek with a supportive crowd cheering them on. Congratulations to all the players and coaches. Friday Night Lights. On Friday night, August 30th, our student section donned Western gear to cheer on the Wildcats at our first home game. Although we didn't win, our girls played hard and displayed great character. Our football team did come up with a big win at this past Friday's night football game against Rancho Buena Vista with a score of 28-13. Back to school night, EC held back to school night on Thursday, September 5th. Parents and caregivers came out to meet their students and teacher, and it was a great night for all. This concludes my presentation for tonight. Thank you for your attention and time.
And we will now move forward with Surfside, Leah Rosenthal.
Good evening, Board President Alvarez, members of the Board, and Superintendent Dr. Casali. I'm Leah Rosenthal, a senior at Surfside Educational Academy. This is my 4th year attending Surfside, and I plan on graduating early in December. I am honored to provide you with an update on our amazing school. Surfside is under construction. The entire modernization project is structured around 3 phases and is slated to be completely finished by August 2026. It is exciting to see the work moving forward so smoothly and quickly. As we start the school year, both students and staff use our Surfside learning outcomes to guide our daily behavior and shape our future plans and goals. Congratulations to our first rising star of the school year, Juliana Harris. Despite the many life obstacles she has faced, Juliana fully invests herself in everything she does, even with a full load of schoolwork and SAT time off. After Juliana graduates, she plans on becoming a teacher. There are a lot of new happenings this year. Our library added 1,344 new books in addition to numerous ebooks and audiobooks. We are enjoying the new Chromebooks and the touchscreens. Surfside High has a new schedule that includes our first ever advisory period. Our career exploration course is thriving in a new classroom space. We have added a digital photography class and we are working to launch a musical. Surfside K-5 students are starting the year off right by establishing a goal to read for more than 20 minutes a day. Middle school independent study continues to provide an enriching and supportive educational experience for our students, including opportunities for students to see their 3D CAD designs come to life with our 3D scriptures. We are excited to welcome back Ms. Amy and the dual enrollment hospitality classes. When students complete the 4 hospitality classes in the sequence, they earn high school and college credit. I am happy to report that I am in my 3rd class of the sequence and plan on earning this college certificate when I graduate. We are looking forward to welcoming parents at Back to School Night later this week to an exciting soccer season and systematically using a great college and career school, California colleges, to further help their students on their post-secondary plans and more. And finally, we are happy to report that our very own independent study school counselor, Ms. Stephanie Nguyen, who underwent a year of chemo, is officially cancer-free. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful evening.
At this point, we will move to 2E, approval of agenda. We'll call for the vote. Since approved. First, and have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. At this point in time, we will move to 3A, superintendent's report, please.
My report comes to you tonight in the form of a video. As we did last year, we created a video to share with the community to thank everyone for supporting Proposition H to Measure W and giving you an update. This is a visual update on tax dollars at work, and then later in the meeting, Andy will give us another update on some more specific projects. So if you'll start this video, please. Thank you.
We want to thank you for your continued support.
Thanks to your commitment, we are putting your tax dollars to work, making our schools better for students and staff.
Organizations to Mesa now have fresh coats of paint that build these schools are vibrant and well, bringing renewed pride to campus. You've transformed the libraries at Oceanside High and El Camino, creating modern spaces that inspire learning and creativity. Your gyms have also received significant improvements, ensuring our athletes have the facilities they need to excel. El Camino's weight room is now equipped with state-of-the-art gear, helping our students reach their full potential. at several campuses, ensuring comfortable learning environments year-round. Many of our schools now have an apartment and a touch point and comfort for a classroom. At IU Ranch, new asphalt and planters have revitalized our outdoor spaces, making them more inviting and functional.
None of this would be possible without the incredible support of our Oceanside community.
Together, we are building a brighter future for our students. Thank you, Oceanside.
Thank you, Oceanside, for your unwavering support.
Thank you, Oceanside. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Oceanside.
So tomorrow we'll be putting this out on our social media channels. I encourage you to take a look at it. The pictures are very brilliant and shows the work that we've done and will continue to do at all of our campuses. Thank you to the voters in Oceanside for supporting Measure W and Proposition H.
This one will move with Nancy, please.
Thank you. September is Suicide Prevention Month, and so it's important to spread awareness about the importance of access to mental health support for our students and families who may need it, and the prevention that goes on in the school sites, and access to referrals and outside services. I look forward to continuing to support the growth of that in our district, and I think Oceanside for the access that we already have to counselors, to outside services, to social workers to support our students and our families to ensure that students have access to mental health support. Mike?
No report.
Eleanor?
I have the opportunity to visit several schools, and I just want to say congratulations and compliments to all the personnel certificated and classified for ensuring that our students return to safe, clean, positive campuses, and that the forthcoming 24-25 school year will be filled with lots of positive activities. Thank you.
Thank you. Stacy?
I have no report.
And I myself actually was able to attend a Unite luncheon, and it was great to see people from our community like Rosa Guerra, to be able to see the support being offered to our students at functions like this, where we go and raise money to support our students with backpacks, back to school supplies, food, in our food pantries, and just clothing within our community. So thank you to Unite for working so diligently with our students to support our administrators on all of our sites. So thank you, and for again, just the community itself is participating and being a part of that. So thank you. We will now move to our labor partners, to the CSEA. We'll start with them.
Hello, everybody. So, for the last month and a half, 2 months, we've been working with the school districts as a team. Can you hear me now? I can help out. We went through, next slide, please. We went through a program where we had us in the district, and we were learning to deal with people, something that we have not done in the past. As far as I know, we've never attempted to be a team. So now we're going to try to attempt to be a team. We're going to play fair, at least to start. No guarantee that way. No guarantee. Next slide. We took it a step further. Our union went up to Ontario. Don't go up to Ontario. 115. That was on a Friday night. So when we went to that, I jumped ahead of myself. So again, we're talking about the labor management. This is combining the 3 duties into one to make one. Next one, please. So we went through, as you see, the love training. That was each member union program. everything good, how to make teamwork. You said 3 earthquakes and a fire to learn this. So we build our team even stronger. So that's the second part of building unity. Us, OUSD, you guys. Definitely. Unity was the theme. Unity starts with you and I hope you catch that. You and I. So, again, we try, spend 3 days up there in the heat, not wanting to go out. But again, we learned a lot. And that was 5 different people from when we went to the first one. And now we have 10 on our side. So we're assuming that with those 10, we should be able to cover everything we need to cover. We should be able to meet the meetings we need to meet with the district, OUSD. Next. So we plan on building a relationship with our fellow classified, certified, and administrators. We have a 2-year window to get this done. Seems like a lot to do. I think we can do it. I'm pretty sure in 2 years, I will be gone. And somebody else will get it. Next one, please. We keep focus on our students, our families, and the beautiful Oceanside community. As a union, we want to protect our kids. We don't work here for the money. We work here because the kids keep us enthusiastic. The kids are our life. We want them to be safe. We want them to learn. We want them to grow. So that's our backbone, is our kids. Next. That's all I have. Thank you very much. Continue.
You will now call for the Oceanside representative, please.
President Alvarez, trustee, superintendent of faculty cabinet. My name is Carrie Pargetta. I am the political action committee chair for the Oceanside Teachers Association, and Tiffany cannot be here tonight, but she can be meeting Steve and so here is a list of some of the collaboration we've been working on, higher orientation, community, just working with the district and community to create better environment and conditions for our teachers and students. And then, there we go. Okay, so this is the message that Tiffany pre-recorded for you, and hopefully it works because if it doesn't, I'll read it.
Good evening, President Alvarez, trustees, Superintendent Vitale, cabinet, colleagues, and community members. I am Tiffany Ortega, and I'm honored to serve as the president of the Oceanside Teachers Association. I'm sorry that I cannot be here with you tonight. Students are not in danger of a gay agenda. I'm not being flip when I say this, but I am telling you that we are not teaching a gay agenda. Children do not come to school heterosexual and leave gay. The LGBTQ+ flag doesn't hypnotize students to want to explore alternative relationships or change their pronouns. Our school psychologists, school counselors, and school social workers have neither the time nor the inclination to conspire with children to do some of the things groups in our own community have manufactured against them. Students are not in danger of a conspiracy to fill libraries with books in order to sway children toward whom to love. What you will find are books in our library that reflect what the families of our community and communities around us look like. In those books, you will find not only their ethnicity and cultural practices being represented, but their family dynamics are represented as well. Those are placed there strategically, not to try and change a child's mind about whom they should love. Has anyone here ever actually been in love? That isn't how it works. Do you believe that could happen? I mean, honestly, maybe we feel it differently, but I digress. Those books are placed there strategically so that every student might see their family represented. When they look at that book, they feel the warmth of belonging and the validation of recognition. Why in the world would we want to encourage elimination of a group which might lead to isolation? Why would anyone in our community want to enforce a policy that excluded a mirror image of a student from our community in our district. Students are not in danger of being forced to look at, read, or check out those books. Since I'm speaking facts, let me tell you that procedurally, every parent in this district can restrict any library book in the district from their child. Simply go to the school and complete the form. It might be available online. The bottom line is your choice to remove for your child doesn't supersede your neighbor's right to have access for their child. Students are not in danger of any consultation for gender-affirming plans or surgeries being performed for gender reassignment or schools contracting with hospitals, despite what our former president foolishly suggests. I can't even dignify this with an explanation. It's so patently ridiculous and irresponsible. Unfortunately, there are some in our community that will believe. Students are also not in danger of an anti-Christianity movement. There is an anti-one religion movement. Some of the best teachers I know are Christian. They're probably in this audience currently, and some of them are also atheist and Buddhist and Muslim and Jewish. It's your job to establish the importance of your belief in your family's lives, not ours. We're here to allow room for everyone, and establishing room for everyone should minimize your beliefs if you do your part. Students are also not in danger of being exposed to pornographic sex ed curriculum beginning in kindergarten. It is a fact that we teach a scientifically based health and human development curriculum to the students in this district. It is a state-adopted curriculum, and we are required to teach the board-adopted curriculum. Similar to the library book option mentioned previously, parents in this district have the option to not only review the curriculum beforehand, but to also opt their child out of this instruction. Once again, you have the freedom of your personal choice, which is beautiful, but it does not and should not supersede your neighbor's choice of public education for their child. I hope now that I've dispelled some of what your child is not in danger of, let's recognize some of the real dangers that your children face. Children in our district and every district in this nation come to school each morning and are in real danger of not returning home every single day due to gun violence on school. Children in our nation are more likely to be unalived by a firearm than a car crash, and 5 times more likely to die from a firearm than drowning. The adults that work with our children on campuses are in danger of experiencing workplace gun violence, since workplaces are the most common place for mass shooting sites, and our workplaces are the schools, where since 1999 more than 383,000 students have experienced gun violence. So the adults on those school campuses have a real reason to be alarmed statistically. Adults at school sites are also in danger of feeling anxious, impatient, and vulnerable after seeking support for a student that they work with and they suspect might be in crisis or suspect might be a danger to themselves or others. We have a lot of responsibility under our charge. There are many families depending on us, our own included. School sites are also in danger of running into an unavailability of resources and personnel who are equipped to support students in crisis. School psychologists, school counselors, school social workers, and school nurses are stretched tightly because they're staffed based on the traditional job responsibilities associated with their profession, but must constantly pivot to address the ever-evolving mental health landscape and its effect on education. Students, teachers, support staff, administrators, and volunteers on school campuses are also in danger of adults in the community that fail to practice responsible gun ownership. We are in danger of those adults not only failing to control their firearms, but also allowing them to leave their home and be brought to our school campuses. I'm not using this as a platform for or against gun control. I grew up around firearms, and it's not important which way I personally feel. But can we not, at the very least, agree to control children's access to firearms? I'm sorry, I'm upset, and I'm angry. Aren't you? And if we aren't, what is wrong with us? Some of you are probably saying this isn't something that should be discussed at a school board meeting by a union president, but you are absolutely incorrect. People keep bringing guns on school campuses, so this is exactly where it needs to be discussed. I represent the members that work on those school campuses, so I am the person who should be talking about it. And you may also think that this isn't an issue to be put before this school board, but you're wrong. This is a critical issue that should be put before this school board and every single school board in this fine nation of ours until they all agree to stand together to address the loss of our nation's students and school faculty on school campuses. Can we please acknowledge that this is an issue worth joining together over for the lives of every child that crosses a threshold of a classroom, and for the lives of every teacher, support staff, and administrator that is there to greet them? School districts can help prevent shootings by notifying families about the critical importance of securing firearms. Our school district should pass a resolution requiring schools to provide parents with resources about secure gun storage. I implore you in this school district and others to continue to fight for all students to feel recognized, validated, and valued. Model diversity, equity, and inclusion for them in your leadership, practices, and policies. This school board and others must remain dedicated to and increase your commitment to addressing mental health awareness in the students in our district and continue to provide social and emotional learning that gives students tools for healthy emotional understanding and strategies for self-regulation for themselves and de-escalation in others. These are some of the things included in SEL, by the way. The SEL that we hear villainized and weaponized against the public school system. Please understand, when you fight against SEL in our schools, you are fighting against two tools which could be employed to avoid school violence. This school board and others across this nation must make a commitment to foster a safe and trusting school climate for all students. In order to do that, we can no longer staff according to traditional staffing ratios. As full as our classrooms are here in Oceanside, we actually have negotiated better class sizes than some of our neighbors, but we have to do better. We have to be able to build relationships with students and create an environment where students feel safe asking for help and reporting concerning behavior. We have to know our students. School boards must band together and must demand funding at the state and national level to support the employment of sufficient numbers of mental health professionals, school psychologists, school social workers, school counselors, in order to create a safe school climate for all students and educational professionals. This is our responsibility. When I say I will only back a school board and school board members who are progressive and who believe in progress and advocate for all students, this is one of the reasons that it matters. Safety is the reason. Social emotional learning is the reason. Belonging is the reason. Mental health is the reason. Well-being is the reason. OUSD staff is the reason. Oceanside Unified students are the reason.
Let's not wait for the next tragedy. Let's act now together.
Okay, good evening. Please be aware that the public video and photography section is located in the back corner of this room. We have it marked with a sign. Anyone who would like to record can do so from there or from your seat. We ask that you please do not come up to the podium to record the speaker. Reminder norms of respectful behavior, please. Use respectful language. Be respectful to all the speakers as they come up. Do not cause disruptions. And please adhere to your time limits. This one we will start with public comment agenda items. During this portion of the meeting, individual speakers will be allowed up to 3 minutes total to address the board on agenda items, including items on the consent agenda. However, the total time for public input may be limited to 20 minutes, while the total time per speaker for a given topic may be slightly reduced in certain circumstances. All persons wishing to address the board will have a meaningful opportunity to do so during this meeting. An individual may only turn in one public comment card for the public comments on agendized items. At this point, we call for the vote for general consent agenda, please. Oh wait, sorry, public comment. I'm sorry.
We have a total of 7. I'm going to call up 3 at a time. Madison Williams, Patty Kay, and Yannette Ramirez will be our first speaker.
Hi everyone. I really hate being here and hate that I have to come back and talk to you all. It makes me so upset. And I'm here because I'm profoundly upset. And I don't know who to direct it to, so I think, unfortunately, Dr. Vitale most that was due. This isn't about unfinished buildings and construction delays alone. It's about the serious disregard that you have had for our children's safety and well-being, especially our community that is already marginalized and continuously overlooked. Before the school year began, we raised significant concerns about this school's readiness, and I stood right here, and you responded to me, and you said, she's in there every day, it's gonna be okay. And unfortunately, those assurances proved false. The chaos our students faced during the first week of school wasn't just inconvenient, it was a clear sign of mismanagement and complete disregard for our children. God, I'm so mad at you guys. It's unacceptable that parents had to step up and highlight the basic needs like shade and water, and the lack of a PA system, which proved pretty crucial a week later during an emergency. And safety issues like unlocked doors to construction material, basic oversights. While you address some of these, thank you, Dr. Norman, the response to our request for proper shade was inadequate. The fact that it wasn't in your construction plan. Or pop-up tents was not a viable solution, especially when we clearly communicated the need for better shade during San Diego's hottest months. And this falls short and disrespects our community's efforts. The lack of adequate shade has forced our children indoors for recess, which is a right protected by California law now, and it could have been avoided by proper planning and execution. And I've spoken to many of you up here, and my main takeaway is that your responses are that children are resilient and our community deserves this school update, and I do agree with that. However, we must not let lose sight of our present needs, our community now. Our students and staff deserve a functional environment that doesn't leave them dealing with constant construction issues. Our community now sees this other schools up on that video, and we have been faced with 5 years of shuffling because of school closures, remote learning, and now pouring into construction. Our school now can't have a garden or a festival or even a painted blacktop because we've been told repeatedly no with this construction constraint. And it highlights a management issue. And on that point of our community needing this, and I agree we do, it's crucial to question whether this construction will ultimately benefit the community it was intended for, or if gentrification will push those out that it was meant to help. So what community is this for? Focus on the community, and I'm leaving the floor to Dr. Vitale.
You always have a song, so I can sing. Okay, as far as equitable, real quickly, I think, that if we had 10 minutes or more like the Tiffany Ortega did, it would be more equitable for us in the audience to be able to speak in a coherent manner. Okay, I don't quite understand that. Okay, a couple items, 5D, E, F, G, where to get information on claims against the district that were approved or not approved. Okay, you're going to answer later, maybe?
would be good. Okay, so my main topic is the end, which is approval of resolution negotiating acquisition contracts on the modular buildings. Okay, I don't quite understand, and it's not really explicit in the information given, if it was 9 more modular units like there was before, or whether it was a constructed building, because for the 9 units being replaced, it's over $1,310,807 each. Now, these classrooms are empty shells, and you put in the tables and chairs for the students. There's no running water, the ones that I have taught in, and there is electricity. So I'm questioning, I could build a nice home in this market price for $1,300,000 with kitchen, bathrooms, etc. And you're paying that much for a shell of a room. Where have you looked at that, or are you going to accept that they're just going to negotiate? I had 1,000 square feet at $200 per modular unit. That's $200,000 per unit. Where is the remainder of the money? $1,100,000. Those are questions I guess I'm in. What investment in Fire Silver Creek, who you are awarding the contract, which went bankrupt last year? I'm sure you're aware of that, right? So I'd like a little more information on that issue. If I were to, the building costs for a regular home can be $300 to $400 for a nice quality home, and that's nowhere in the ball range of this that you accepted as a bid. So the bids went out and they were due 1 month later. Is that normal, Andrea? If you can give some answers to those questions, please. Are there answers? It's an agenda item, so you can give it.
Is that public comment at this point in time, so we're taking public comments right now?
But this is on this item right now, so you're not going to wait.
Is Jeanette involved?
What's that?
Jeanette Rivera, you're next.
So you're not going to comment?
No, they can't legally. Yeah, they can't.
Hello, good evening, dear members of the board. I, Janet, come to you as a mother, but also as a graduated student of Oceanside School District. My elementary school is Lake Tigers, Luther King, and El Camino High School Wildcats. Ever since I can remember my school year's experience from elementary to high school, it has been pleasant and worry-free of any dangers. I can recall early memories of when our recess school bell rings, we would race freely to the blacktop to play tetherball, handball. We also had a grass field to enjoy our favorite activities. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for my 3 children attending an elementary school at Pablo Park. From the first day of school, I cannot recognize an elementary school, but rather an active and ongoing construction job site. As I walk my children to school within the crowds, I see construction workers walking up and down, racing to finish this job. Everywhere. Hazards everywhere, unfinished rooms, and heavy equipment everywhere. Tractors being driven, not until the parents showed concern and decided to voice their opinion to the school faculty. There were changes and adjustments. But that still doesn't guarantee a safe environment for our children, putting mothers like me in a constant state of worry. I often ask myself, I wonder how my children are doing. Is there enough shade? Is there enough water? Are the facilities well maintained? Every day I ask my oldest, how is school? She often responds, there's not enough shade, Mom. We had to sit on the floor. There's not enough shade on the benches, Mom. The only reason why these children have shade is due to the parents donating their tents, but why hasn't our district taken any action to solve this simple matter? I don't understand why the district would be okay to send 300 plus students to an active job site rather than a school. We also, parents, understand that construction takes time.
But what is prolonging this job? We are very grateful for the renovations for Pablo Park. But why has this project taken so long? During summer 2024, we were very excited to see the progress of school. And we drive by only to come see the job site wasn't active and nothing was getting done. Why is it now that our kids are back in school, this construction project is being scrambled around? Why not take advantage of summer 2024? No kids, no parents picking up, no teachers, and no cars. My suggestion is not to shut down the construction, but something needs to get done for our kids, our safety. We know that a construction job site, there's lots of accidents. Let's not wait for an accident to happen for us to do something. The tractors ricochet rocks all the time. My husband works in a construction job site, and he said that every day there is accidents. Let's not wait for the kids to have an accident, please, Board. Thank you for your time. Think about if your student would be at Pablo Park every day, and wouldn't you want to come in here and like, oh, Mom, I had fun in the grass. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for your time.
Rosie Guevara, and the last speaker will be Maria Phillips.
I'll begin with a award list. 322-548 to 32560. It's the after school program. We've given $8 million to the after school programs, and I'm wondering, has the board made any goals for academics for that $8 million? Vicki is very familiar with this district, so it should be a doable ask to have her set, or have you set academics goals for that $8 million. Item 5H, agreement with Frontway Arena Management. I don't know, we won't schedule the graduation, but for decades the two high schools have been at the same time. And the reason is to cut the mischievousness between the two high schools if they are graduating at different times. 5U, Dr. Sparks will be in Chicago for a systems leadership for equity symposium and fulfill district goal number 2 to support social, emotional, and physical well-being in order to create safe and positive learning environments. In other words, don't ever have students in a construction zone, don't have them in a construction zone. Instead, you can provide a different site and transportation until all the construction is done. And Dr. Sparks, I would like to know how the focus areas leverage our community capacity and connectedness, generative artificial intelligence, AI tools, and resources to bolster leadership capacity. Will that help Pablo Top have a safe and positive learning environment and the principals to be more welcoming to parents? Item 5B, Mr. Fank will be going to Chicago, Denver, and Texas, all expenses paid by the National Council of Supervisors of Mathematicians as a board member in this organization. Their goal, I might add, audacious leadership in mathematics, among other things, guarantees that all students engage in equitable, high-quality mathematical experience. Well, I hope that means that, considering our test scores, that means memorization of multiplication tables, long division, fractions, and percentages. For that solid foundation, students at Oceanside desperately need to raise test scores. Item BB, approval of additional benchmarks and advanced curricular material. I hope these materials will help in your audacious goal of 100% of third graders reading by the third grade. I think 70% is more realistic. I wouldn't want teachers discouraged before they start, especially if they feel, and many of them do, they do not have sufficient resources and support to complete the goal. Thank you.
MIT, the University of North Carolina system, public state universities in Alabama, the University of Texas system, the University of Utah, the University of Tennessee system, Georgia Public University system, the University of Missouri, University of Arkansas.
Does this have anything to do with the consent agenda?
It does.
Thank you.
What do all these groups have in common? They have all abandoned or disbanded their DEI departments or drastically reduced them. This is just the tip of the iceberg. More and more organizations are realizing that DEI is a big lie. The biggest part of the lie is equity. The biggest lie of all. Your DEI director is lying to children when he teaches them that they can all have and be the same as everyone else without their own effort and passion. It's a tragedy that kids are ready to believe that their government will make them all equal, regardless of their abilities or desire. I know that the DEI director does some positive things. His efforts to keep kids in school are admirable. So why do you propose sending him off to a symposium on equity, spending good money after bad on a dying fad? Why not keep him here where he can do some good, instead of losing the $1,000 a day plus that it costs us and lost productivity while he's away? Do any of you have the best to simply ask, why are we doing this? Please, just one of you break the spell and stop this nonsense. On another issue, why spend $65,000 or 65 cents on a venue for graduations? I graduated from Oceanside High School at the gym. Decades of graduations have been at the beach. I have been to 3 graduations recently, all on football fields in various parts of the country. What better place to graduate than on your own field? Please don't do this. Bring some sanity back and kill both of these stupid bills. And by the way, how do you spend $1.3 million on a modular school room?
I'm Rosie Guerra, and I'm running for Oceanside School Board to replace Mike Blessing. Mike Blessing, your policies and procedures do not reflect the needs of our students. You signed the closing of Reynolds. Under your watch, there were 4 schools that were closed: Ocean Shores, Pacifica, Reynolds, and Garrison. Here in my hands, I have the GEO report for the engineer on hand. If anyone wants to see it, that Reynolds did not need to be closed. Now, the students in public talk, again, gross negligence. I wish that all the parents would join together and do a class action suit. This is terrible. This is perfect. This is such an unsafe environment. I went over there myself to see for myself, and I was shocked. I would never take my child to a school like that is just in complete chaos, with no shade, no water in the beginning, only 2 toilets. I understand that we're working, putting the children and the parents under incredible stress, and then a fire on top of that. And you guys are still sending kids there. There is no accountability, no transparency, and the policies that you create are actually unsafe and unhealthy for our students. Our community and our kids deserve far better. This is really sad. It's not about money, it's about the kids' safety. How can they learn? If it's 135 degrees in the pavement, they don't even have shade, and there's all this noise going on, and heavy equipment and machinery, men coming and going. It's not safe. Would you guys send your students, your kids there? How are they supposed to learn under those conditions? That's ridiculous. And I want to know where this money for bond H&W are going. And you see that Apollo talk. You guys need to speed up this project, and you need to give them shade. They need to feel safe. The parents and community are counting on you. This is a shame and a shambles. That's all. Thank you.
was still left out, but I checked, I think Jay, am I correct? Okay, so hello, my name is Maria Phyllis, and I'm following up on the HVAC, something or other. I am a lead at Ivy Ranch Elementary. My staff and I feed over 700 students a day, breakfast, lunch, and supper. I am here today to talk to you about the NPR and kitchen. Both of these areas have no air conditioning. The NPR has not had air conditioning for 2.5 years. And the kitchen, apparently, a broken swamp cooler has not been fixed for 20 years or more. I am sure this doesn't seem like a big deal to the upper management at Oceanside School District. Because if it was an importance to them, my work order that has been in since last October would have been taken care of. We at Ivy Ranch, teachers, custodial, kitchen staff, we were told we were getting 22 new air conditioning units at the end of last year. But lo and behold, that was on the back burner. Now, none of the units were replaced. Some of them have been fixed enough to limp them by to get us through this heat wave. As far as the NPR, we have no air, despite what upper management has been told and has now told us. I work there. I know there's no air. And just as an FYI, even if you get an NPR fixed, it doesn't help in cooling down the kitchen. It also will make the unit work harder in the NPR when it is finally fixed to try to cool down the amount of square footage in both areas. Ivy Ranch students come through our lines with sweat dripping down their faces. Their faces are absolutely tomato red and just famished from the heat. Our students should be able to walk into an NPR to cool down before they have to sit outside in the hot heat. If the NPR had been working, the air conditioner, the children could sit inside of the NPR to enjoy the meals that we worked hard to provide for them. And on that note, we are over 100 degrees in the kitchen. I do believe that OSHA standards for California OSHA Title 8, Section 3396 is not supposed to be over 82 degrees in an area where you could have related illnesses. People can have seen, I know I've heard about it through the district, what's going on. To cool down, my staff members and I are going to walk in to cool down, only to walk back out to 100 degrees and keep going. I would do this every single day. But I'm going to tell you right now, it is not what it is. And I'm asking you, when is my work order going to be filled? And when are we going to be filled?
At this point, I'll move for a motion to consent, general consent. I'll have a motion to approve, please.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you, motion passes. Move to 6, curriculum and instruction. And then we will do open at 5:56. Do open hearing and announcement. I'm sorry. For 6. Is there a staff participation?
Yes, as part of the Williams settlement legislation, we ask that people come forward if you review our textbooks and our other items that are part of the Williams settlement. And at this time, any member of the public who wishes to share any concern about Williams as part of our public hearing, they do so.
Any comments at this time regarding this item?
Yes, this is our textbooks for Williams, so sufficiency of textbooks. If someone has something to share about sufficiency of textbooks, they can come forward at this time.
no public comment. At this time, I will close the public hearing at 5:57. We will move to 6B, adoption of resolution number 3, 2024-2025, Williams settlement legislation determining sufficiency of the instructional materials.
We have been reviewed by the County Office of Education, and again, with our own internal processes, and we find that we are sufficiently supplied with all textbooks and instructional materials as required by law and the Williams settlement. So adoption of this will confirm that information.
Thank you. I'll call for the vote.
I'll second.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. We'll move to 6C, approval of new course outline for Oceanside Unified School District course of study.
We have brought together our arts experts, our site leaders, and we now have a new art exploration course for our high school students to learn more about arts education and the visual arts. And approval of this course will allow students to receive their A through G credit when they take this course.
Thank you. I call for a motion.
I second.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Thank you.
We'll move to 7A. Approval of resolution number 4, 24-25, adopting the appropriations GAN limit 2023-2024 actual and 2024-2025 estimates.
Thank you, President Alvarez. The GAN initiative limits the growth of expenditures for publicly funded programs. The 1980 legislation specified the calculation of state and local government appropriation limits and appropriations subject to limitation. It also required that each government entity formally adopt its appropriations limit for a fiscal year. School districts must submit the appropriations limit computation to their county Department of Education annually. This computation reflects calculation of the 23-24 appropriations limit and the preliminary 24-25 limit. In neither case, this district exceed the appropriations limit.
I'll call for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
First, I have a second. All those in favor say aye, please. Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. 7B, presentation and approval of annual financial statement 2023-2024, unaudited actuals.
Thank you, President Alvarez. I'm pleased to share the unaudited actuals for the 23-24 school year. This budget presentation is our opportunity to present any changes to the general fund after having closed fiscal year 23-24. We will compare estimated actuals, next slide please, to unaudited actuals, review changes to revenue and expenditures, and how this impacts the general fund. Also review the components of the budget's ending fund balance. And lastly, we'll examine continued actions to ensure fiscal solvency. Here you will see the difference between the estimated actuals presented in June of 2024 to the unaudited actuals now after closing the final accounting cycle for last fiscal year. Revenue for 23-24 was $321,598,993 in expenses, which was over $290 million with a net change of fund balance of $31.4 million. The decrease in expenses is due to continued efforts to mitigate deficit spending, align staffing with declining student enrollment, and recognizing all available revenue. The beginning fund balance remains the same, and we saw an increase in the ending fund balance. The reserve for economic uncertainty is calculated from the amount of the district's expenditures, which is why we see a decrease from June. Next slide, changes in revenue. This slide shows a comparison between the estimated revenue sources in June and the revenue in September. For the LCFF, the change in revenue is a result of adjustments from attendance at the second attendance period. Federal revenue primarily increased from additional revenue gained through our efforts to collect impact aid, also known as the federal survey cards. State revenue consists of restricted funds such as the CTIC and Perkins grants, as well as grants such as Educator Effectiveness Expanded Learning Opportunities Program. This revenue increases to recognize the necessary revenue for the coming fiscal year's expenditures. There was also a slight increase in non-school transportation reimbursement, lottery, and one-time funds. We also saw a slight increase in local revenue such as donations, interest, and money from some local grants such as ACES and assets. Next slide, please. Here we have the components of the ending fund balance. The increase in the unaudited ending fund balance is mostly due to a decrease in expenditures after finalizing expenses for 23-24. Restricted funds decreased from June to September due to our efforts to send down grants that are expiring, for example, the ESSER funds, the Land Recovery Block Grant, and the Arts, Music, Instructional Materials Block Grants. The non-spendable increased due to the restocking of the warehouse store items in preparation for the start of the school year. The reserve for economic uncertainty is determined by the total amount of expenditures. This amount decreased in proportion to the decrease in expenses. The assigned funds and committed funds increased due to the ending fund balance. A reduction in assignments and commitments is expected by the first interim. Carryover expenses come in every year as a result of unpaid invoices for projects and books and supplies from the previous school year. For example, last year we had $22 million in expenses come in for 22-23 that had to be paid at the beginning of 23-24. The unassigned will also change at first interim when we make the auditor adjustment for this amount. Next slide. These are actions to ensure fiscal solvency. We'll continue to incorporate updated revenue and expenditures as they become available for current multi-year projections. First, to monitor student enrollment and adjust staffing accordingly, reduce staff as funding sources change or expire, for example, restricted title funds and grants, evaluate other expenditures to make necessary adjustments, and we will present the first interim financial report on December 10, 2024. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just sort of have a comment. Basically, you say that we were in a really good position.
We have done a really good job of tracking our expenses and making sure that we're aligning our budget to what our actual expenses are.
Thank you, Dr. Herman. I'll call for a motion at this point for 7B.
I'll make a motion.
A first and a second. Thank you. I'll call for a vote at this time. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. 7C, presentation approval of Proposition 8 and Measure W fund reallocation. Staff presentation, please.
Thank you, President Alvarez. We're just going to wait one moment for the presentation comes up. We can go to the beginning. Start from here. Thank you, President Alvarez. This evening, I'm pleased to share updates regarding our Prop H and Measure W projects. Since initially deciding on Measure W projects in March of 2022, the board revisited the list of scheduled projects in September of 2023. Now that it has almost been a year, I'm pleased to share our progress and proposed changes. Next slide. Go back, please. I'm sorry, we're off one. One more, there we go, we'll stay there. Prop H projects underway include the Pablo Talk School of the Arts modernization and the Jefferson Middle School modernization. We've completed projects such as 2 OHS special education classrooms, the indoor gym fans and bleachers. We completed the Truax Theater lighting, roof, and HVAC, and new softball field at El Camino High School. Lastly, for Bergner Academy, we installed a much-needed ADA ramp for our ETP students and staff. Next slide. Now we're going to talk about W. We have significantly progressed on our Measure W projects in the past 2 years. Projects in progress were completed with Measure W include Jefferson Middle School modernization, Surfside Education Academy modernization. We've completed the elementary playgrounds, shade structures. Both high schools received a track and field replacement. We relocated Fusat and Libby portables. We are now completing the safety and security improvements. Ivy Ranch roof and HVAC, that is underway, the ECHS weight room and restrooms, as well as the window assessment throughout the district. Next slide, thank you. OHS completed projects using ESSER and M&O funds previously budgeted out of bond funds. These projects include the ECHS roof replacement, the OHS HVAC replacement for buildings A and C, and the Nicole Elementary roof and HVAC replacement. The district staff and the bond team recently visited sites where bond-funded projects are scheduled to be completed. The purpose of the visits was to determine if there was still the same need for proposed projects. At Poussaint Elementary, we plan to remove the 7 rented portable classrooms and 1 rented portable restroom. We will purchase and install 2 new prefabricated full-size kindergarten classrooms with bathrooms in the kindergarten compound, and we will build 3 individual gender-neutral restrooms, 2 for adults and 1 for students. These will be permanent buildings. The existing portables at Lincoln Middle School are still in great structural condition. They will be completely refurbished with new carpet, interior walls, window treatments, exterior panels, and painting. Libby Elementary, we recently removed 3 old portable classrooms, and they have received 3 new portable classrooms. Although classrooms are available in the permanent buildings, these additional portables allow for flexibility within the campus. And lastly, Laurel Elementary will have the older modular classrooms removed. Slide 6. Because we've completed some projects with non-bond funds and determined that other projects could be de-scoped or removed from the list, these funds can be shifted to other projects. Staff recommends using these funds towards the 3 school modernization projects. This table shows the current allocations for each school being modernized. Due to the increased scope and escalation, the district requests the board to take action to allocate additional bond funds for these projects. $5.5 million for Pablo Talk, $10.1 million for Jefferson Middle School, and $8 million for Surfside Education Academy. The new totals for each project can be seen in the column on the far right. Thank you, President Alvarez.
Any questions or comments?
I have a comment. First of all, compliments on being able to redirect those funds so that it can be used more efficiently. On page 5, in slide 6, you said to refurbish existing portables. Do we own those?
We do, we own them.
Okay. And for El Camino, is it possible that the new seats for the kids less?
I believe that they've already been refurbished. We can go back and take a look at it.
Would we be able to get an update on the estimated time for completion of all 3 projects in Public Talk Jefferson?
Sure, I can provide that for you.
And then I also just want to point out that I think this is, our schools have been neglected for decades, and so the fact that we have to invest this much money for so many decades, I think it's board across the country. Our schools have literally been allowed to just fall to the ground, and so hopefully we can take care of our schools better and we don't have to go through this, because I think we have to approve every single month increase in cost, because they're breaking ground and they're finding things that that we didn't even know were there or that were happening. So thank you all for putting in the work for this for this grant and for doing all this work for our schools, because for so long our schools have just been allowed to come to the ground, and our kids are in there and mold and people are getting sick, and so just thank you all for the work you're doing, and hopefully they can complete it in time there and safely keep everyone safe. Yeah.
On that safety note, can you remind us a little bit more about the safety and security improvements?
Sure. We have installed 2 of our sites already. Well, in all of our sites, we've done the outdoor cameras. We have exterior camera project that's been completed this month. We have a little bit more to do with the sites that are under construction, but all of our other sites are complete. Principals and staff, designated staff, have access to be able to see it online at any time. Nobody has to go to some special computer like it was back in the 80s and log in. You can see it at any time when you go to the cloud to see it. What we've also done is at Pompos and Chavez, we did last year a pilot that went very well. Staff was really happy, administration was really happy. That was the audio enhancement, where teachers have their microphone like we've always done, but then there's also the ability to alert the office if there's any type of an emergency or any type of concern. We can map the site, we can see what's happening at the site, we can readily communicate. So that is about to happen in October. We have our kickoff meeting coming up, and so that'll be happening through our bond office, but also in concert with Mike Raveling and IT, and also Dr. Sparks and TDI.
What's the projected date of completion?
I believe we said December, correct, Fred? Of this year. December of this year. Correct, Deb? Yep.
Thank you. And then I had another question. On site 3, you talked about in progress or completed projects. It has Ivy Ranch, and we just heard from someone about the roof.
Yeah.
Is that in progress? Or?
That is in progress. We already, it was on the board, I think, 2 months ago when we got the architect, Matt Morrissey, is doing that project. So we've already got the architect. It's a really big project because we also have to go in and do some significant repairs to what are called blue linoleum. Then we'll be doing the roofing and all of the HVAC as well. So what's hard about construction is sometimes there are things happening, it's just you can't see it because we're going through the process of design. It is a DSA project, which means we have to submit the plans to DSA because they are buildings occupied by students. And that takes a couple of months, and then we can finally get started. Yeah, we'll be replacing HVAC throughout the site. Correct.
Thank you for answering my questions.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
First and a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. We will move over to public comment on agendized items. During the course of the meeting, the agenda is titled Public Comments on Unagendized Items. Individual speakers will be allowed up to 3 minutes total to address the board on non-agendized items. While the total time per speaker for a given topic may be slightly reduced in certain circumstances, all persons wishing to address the board will have a meaningful opportunity to do so during this meeting. However, the total time for public input may be limited to 20 minutes per item or topic. An individual may only turn in 1 public comment card for the public comments on non-agenda item per board meeting. When your name is called to address the board, it is your opportunity to speak. If you refuse to speak when your name is called, you forfeit your time to address the board at that time. Thank you.
We have a total of 16. The first 3 speakers will be Chloe, Furman, Paula, Orva, and Rebecca Amy. Chloe. Paula, Orva.
Good evening, Board President Alvarez, trustees, Dr. Mazzano, cabinet colleagues, and community members. I'm Paul Oliva. I currently teach fourth grade at College Elementary. I'm also the first president, but I'm here speaking as a state teacher. Last month, I stood before you and I said, quote, "The juggling of students and teachers needs to stop being a norm. If you truly want to see improvement in test scores, we need to see improvement in elementary class structure." Well, that did not happen. Schools, including ours, started with multiple combos. Families in these grades were turned away in the first week of school, told that these grades were full, and sent to other schools. 3 weeks in, several combos in the district were dismantled, resulting in student and teacher movement and extremely high class sizes in some schools. I personally have been moved twice during the first month of school. Apparently, this has become an HR budgeting strategy. I encourage school board members to request a detailed report of actual class sizes of elementary schools, and I need roll sheet numbers, not average class sizes, which can use ed specialists, support teachers, and combo to lower the reported ratios. Let's stop playing this numbers game and staff our schools effectively. Sometimes that might mean letting a grade level or 2 ride a little low for a year at some sites. Wouldn't that be great for targeted instruction? And it would allow for growth in homeschools as these housing developments come online. What a great reason to buy a home in Oceanside. Close quality schools with a welcome to open science. Setting a district audacious goal of all students achieving at grade level in English language arts will not get accomplished with lip service and unrealistic goals. It will require, among other things, re-examining the way we set up our elementary staffing at the beginning of each year to avoid this continuous chaos.
Hi, I'm Rebecca King. I talk to all the people here in the park in the condition it is. I wish this meeting were on their laptop. I wish you could sit there for 30 minutes with a 133-degree laptop and see how that feels. Just totally off right away. The condition was horrible. There's no even word. The conditions, the first day of school at Hufflepuff, and all of we need to be held accountable. The construction, not the workers, but the people that are in charge of making decisions. Who decided that that facility was in safe enough condition for children, parents, teachers, construction workers, hoping to harm a child? They didn't go to work that day to run over a child, but somehow between yourself and the construction, that was a possibility. You watched a child run in front of an earth mover at dismissal the first day. And if you wonder why some parents and grandparents feel the way they do, then you need to put yourself there. And I mean in the middle of the day for quite a while and try to think and wonder how you expect their grades, their tests to go up. You've made them feel like they don't matter, and they do matter. And you need to show them that and not with ice cream.
Yes.
I'm trying to understand when you were having the Pledge of Allegiance, if I took a bandsaw and I ran 4 construction trucks at the same time, that you would allow it. Would you be accepting of that? Would you be able to think? That's what you still have videos. If you haven't watched them, shame on you that the children were at for the Pledge of Allegiance with those trucks with one orange cone between them. Now I'm here 3 weeks later, it's still happening for base. You just drop base off the planet. You're not even concerned about them. This whole situation is not just outrageous. There's got to be parts of it that absolutely do not fall law and not morality.
Catherine and Diana G.
Board. Can you guys hear me okay? Good evening, everyone that's here to voice your concerns. Hello, Board. I'm Elizabeth. I'm a parent that is invested in the well-being of students at Santa Margarita Elementary School. Within the Oceanside School District, I believe that strong leadership is a cornerstone that propels teachers, staff, students, parents towards success. Regrettably, our school has a lack of presence of a transparent and honest leadership. Throughout the 2022 and 2024 school year, I have encountered numerous issues with my child that I attribute significantly to the challenges to shifting leadership within the principal and the vice principal. I have advocated to the principal for additional training for teachers to support students with IEPs, no combo classes, better communication from school administrators, as I believe that the Oceanside School District does not adequately support the military community. Military families on Camp Pendleton, that are stationed on Camp Pendleton within the Oceanside School District, often experience short stays that hinder their ability to witness meaningful change within the school system. Having had the opportunity to serve on the PTSA board, I have witnessed firsthand the principal's leadership approach, which often comes off as passive-aggressive towards volunteers. Our recent field day, a traditional event in schools nationwide, was mirrored by chaos, for which I squarely place the blame on the principal's leadership. It is disheartening to see the lack of trust and camaraderie that should exist between parents and
at the school leadership. In my experience, effective leadership is characterized by a warm, trustworthy demeanor, qualities that seem to be lacking from Mr. Jarvis's approach. Thank you.
I'm Catherine, and I'm also a parent at San Margarita School. Diana did not have to leave early, so I'm going to be reading what she left behind. She says, I want to address the ongoing concerns regarding administration at Santa Margarita Elementary School at Ward Camp Pendleton. Us as parents, unfortunately, have reached a breaking point. As the school volunteer with DTSA, I have witnessed firsthand the lack of leadership, professionalism, and general care for the military school community. The discriminatory behavior, toxic environment, and lack of accountability within the school has made it clear that significant changes need to occur. This is not a personal grievance or agenda. It is about justice and safety for our students and our families. As DTSA volunteers, we work tirelessly to foster a sense of community and provide support for parents when the administration fails to set that up. We've organized events for students and families looking forward to offering fun parts of school life that have brought joy and connection. It is deeply disappointing that because of personal conflicts and unprofessionalism within the administration, these activities have been jeopardized. The fact that children are now missing out on meaningful experiences due to personal issues is unacceptable. Despite bringing these concerns to the attention multiple times to the principal as well as the vice principal, no action has been taken for the unprofessional and discriminatory and toxic behavior within the staff. These actions have not only been disrespectful but discriminatory, and they have faced no consequences for their conduct. The hostility has made us feel unsafe and unwelcome, and it drives parents away from the school to the point that her children were also, she pulled her children from the school because she feared retaliation from the staff against her students, or against her children. It is clear that leadership at Santa Margarita has failed to prioritize the well-being of students and families. The principal has shown a complete disregard for parent concerns and a lack of leadership qualities needed to create a welcoming environment. The front office and some of the staff have similarly demonstrated unprofessionalism and harmful behaviors that cannot be ignored any longer. For the sake of the school and its community, I am calling for a change, and we'd like to see a change in the principal, the vice principal for unprofessionalism, and the administrative secretary for discriminatory behavior and toxic environment. And there's also been toxic environment with the kindergarten teacher from Santa Margarita as well. There's also, I'd like to address my personal thing, is there's not enough time when the school actually starts to inform parents or inform teachers and to train staff on how to handle students with IEPs. The transition should not be sent to our kids to have IEPs blind into the school to just figure it out. We need to have proper training beforehand in order for teachers to be prepared for those students. They face more difficult challenges and need extra support in their educational process. It's the whole point of the IEP. We're a military community, but we're also very proud, and we feel very neglected by the districts.
Julian, Emma, Haley, and then Rachel Steele.
Good afternoon. I was here last month, checking minutes related to things I had issues. Again, for Camp Pendleton schools, and just specifically to Santa Margarita Elementary School. This is concerning safety. Again, the bullying and harassment in Santa Margarita School for Camp Pendleton is an ongoing issue. Parents have to take upon themselves to enroll their kids in karate, taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, and other self-defense training to protect themselves. The staff are not trained to deal with bullying or report it to the administration. And even if they report it to the administration, the administration principal, Mr. Jarvis, and principal, Mr. Cross, administrative assistant secretary, Laura Trump, are not addressing or stopping bullying, harassment, and discriminating on campus. Parents have raised awareness and have not been remedy. Just parents right to that staff have been trained. Even having unattended students leave campus during school hours. We already had that happen this year already. Last year we had 6 events. The kids left unattended, and then we're like the parents that they took the office and area and when they actually went down to the Main Street. These issues have been brought up to principal with no comprehensive solution. On top of that, for at least a year, there has been a kindergarten teacher, Ms. Rollins, that has been allowed by Ms. Jarvis, Dr. Smith, and Dr. Sparks to bully, harass, and slander parents without properly addressing teacher professionalism and bad attitudes towards parents. Instead of intervening a year ago, I was labeled as confrontational for bringing up these issues. Dr. Smith's words was, there will be a few bad apples in the bunch, just ignore her and keep doing good things for the children as we get safe parent volunteers. This matter was not addressed with Ms. Rollins and led to retaliatory behavior with false allegations, revoking my volunteer privileges the last day of school. Tell me that is not targeted retaliatory behavior toward me. Ms. Rollins' professionalism has led to a hostile school environment between parents, teachers, and parent volunteers. She has a history of continuous discrimination, harassment, bullying towards teachers and parents. There have been several complaints put into the OUSD Teachers Union regarding professional behavior in the past 5 years. There's been several, so please look into that. Discrimination and unethical practices continue to keep going. This behavior after disrespecting the parents and teachers, this behavior after parents have informed, this behavior goes towards parents that have informed principal of recurrent issues and have failed to address them appropriately. Instead of engaging in targeted enforcement for parents speaking up for students, parents, and teachers, I have been involved in the interpretation of the volunteer privileges. I've already voted to solve Watson as security manager with no resolution. We just discovered that Mr. Jarvis is not doing the proper thorough investigation. I brought it up to Dr. Sparks and actually Dr. Smith. There's no avail. And then I brought it up to his board of trustees with for board policy, the board policy 515.2. I appealed it and I have heard nothing for 6 days.
So tired of this board being reactive. It's time for you to be proactive. There needs to be plan A, B, C, all the way through Z. This is, imagine being a part of the reason that laws exist to protect children. Because that's what we're looking at here. From day one, you set a standard for K through 12 safety that is so far from unacceptable. As a 30-year-old student at Maricosta College, I could never get within the proximity to the machinery that my child had on the first day of school. The first 2 weeks of school were a disaster, and your assurances of improvements and open-mindedness and openness to the parents' concerns really seemed hollow when my child, who is a student ambassador at Pablo Top Elementary School, has now been with us less than 4 days out of this school year. My child is not going to be on a campus where there is active access to open and active instruction, which continues to remain the status at Pablo Top. You were all there the first day of school. You all saw it. There's no, did you see the video? You saw it. You were there. You lived it. Parents like myself, we'll have to deal with this situation where we talk to each other and we're like, wow, well, at least it's my fifth grader. At least it's not the K through, third graders that are dealing with what my kid's dealing with. I'm thankful that my child is in a bad situation on another child, and that's not acceptable. It's not a lifeboat. This is not a lifeboat situation. All of the children deserve the same safety and reassurances as well as our families do. Dr. Norman, our meeting tomorrow is 4 weeks overdue. We need to know who is accountable for the emotional distress that we have endured for the past month. We were here a month ago before you, and my heart has not stopped pounding for the past month, along with other parents, because this is not a safe school for our children. It's not a safe school for adults. I have commend you though, because you have united the community in an unprecedented way. Even those who typically disagree with my very existence as an intersex person are supporting me. So I have to commend you because you've really united totally nonpartisan issue here about child safety. And during an election year, I truly commend you for finding the one issue that is absolutely nonpartisan.
I'm not only a parent of a child at elementary school, I'm also a special education teacher at Michigan. Being a teacher is important that my child loves going to school in a safe and developmentally appropriate environment. I chose to have my daughter stay at Pablo Park so she'd be close to her neighborhood friends and a community she's familiar with. Our two older boys attend school in Michigan where I teach. I know what makes a school a family. The administration, the teachers, the support staff. What has happened at Pablo Park infection began 2 years ago is unacceptable. In TK and kindergarten, she had no developmentally age-appropriate playground to play on when she was there. How does this make your social and emotional development? Yet alone, where needs to young children. Every teacher, administrator, and support staff deserves a stipend for having the teaching conditions that have been going on there. Yes, safety concerns are an issue, ongoing school construction site issue, walking through the halls as a first grader with seeing these fences up around you, you feel like a hamster maze. Going through, like you can't even see what's around you. My biggest concern right now isn't the safety of construction happening there or the lack of the shade, burning on hot days. It's for children like my daughter to have medical conditions that jeopardize their attendance already. My daughter has asthma and has allergies almost year-round. Allergies to trigger asthma. Construction at Pablo Park is the worst environment for a child with medical conditions like asthma. Just as the dust and the venting blown around by construction workers can trigger an asthma attack. She has come home over the last 2 years with red eyes, burning, itchy nose. Every year we have applied for school of choice and we were denied. There's no question on the form for school of choice asking why you want to transfer. But every year, I get truancy letters in the mail. In TK, she was absent almost a month. And last year in kindergarten, she was absent 20 days. But I always have to go for ask the doctor and get to school and those days. What about the children who have medical conditions? What about special needs students on campus? I know they have special education classrooms. Are those students using the same mobile restrooms with wheelchairs? What about the children who have diapers? Are they bringing them to change in the classroom? And how sanitary is that? Is this free, appropriate public education in the full eyes? Because this is not fake. Have you walked on campus and walked down in those little kids' levels to see what it's like walking around? I would like to know what measures the board and superintendent will be taking to ensure student health at a construction site elementary school. Are there air purifiers with dust, all the dust in the classroom, or will it just continue to get truancy letters as
Erica was phenomenal.
Hi, my name is Yola Cardona. Members of the board, who is in charge, parents of Santa Margarita reach out to complain about John Jarvis. Rather than listening to the parents, you have Jarvis reach out to them to intimidate them. I took my daughter out of Santa Margarita after she was sexually harassed and threatened to be shot and killed, and Jarvis felt to call PMO. Jarvis, rather than helping my daughter, tried to revoke her inter-district transfer due to absences. Yeah, all her absences were 100% excused. By the end of the year, a boy who threatened to kill my daughter threatened my 2-year-old son. At that point, I decided the school was no longer safe and I moved my kids to a different district. Jarvis has been retaliating with my family with the help of a teacher named Michelle Rollins. Michelle Rollins became angry at the PTA, which I'm part of, after we denied a medical chair. She started talking ill about my family, my child, to her colleagues and teachers and all parents. We have testimonies from them. She told teachers not to join PTSA when we had a membership drive in the school, speaking ill and saying, do not join the PTSA, they're horrible people. Later, she interrupted an association meeting demanding to pay membership. When we told her we didn't have receipts of the square machine and that we will arrange a drive, she didn't answer. Instead, what she did, some way, somehow, she was able to join our PTA through the internet with a website we were not using. We told her we were going to reimburse her money, and what she ended up doing, she went to the PTA 9 district and made herself the victim. And we told Jarvis to please make her stop, and he told us to write to you guys, the board. We did. After we did that, Jarvis contacted our 9 district and told them that we didn't want to work with him. You guys told us, you guys didn't investigate or did anything to help us. Jarvis then laughed at our face and told us that you guys had given him 100% authority to do whatever he wants at the school. After we knew there was it's not safe for any student at the school, he then ordered the 9th district to disband us after he realized that we haven't broken any by law. All because Michelle Bowles wants to be the teacher representative and we denied her the medical chair. Jarvis and Frost have now started calling parents commands to intimidate parents because parents are raising their voice at the school. Can you guys, if any other parent, can they call the school? Can you guys call the parents because they're being rude to you? No. Michelle has bullied all of us, including our previous teacher representative, Mrs. Shanta, and nothing has happened to her. Jarvis is not fit to be the principal, much less serve in an active duty community. I urge you to remove Mr. Jarvis, Dan Frost, and his undercover boss, Michelle Rollins, from the school. Thank you.
Wow, I don't know what to say after that. Sounds like a damn train wreck to me. Natalia, you are the head of this train wreck, and you 5 school board members have been voted in by your community, the parents, the taxpayers. You are public servants. You are supposed to be acting in the best interest of the children and the students and their safety. All I am hearing is story after story of gross negligence on all of your watch. You all need to resign. Honestly, this is a disgusting school board that is allowing sexual harassment to happen, bullying of parents, anybody that does not cave to your narrative. There is no freaking accountability with you guys. You should be disgusted and ashamed of yourselves. And I'm very proud of this parent that's doing a stay-home initiative. Demand change September 30th to October 1st. Keep your students home this week. That is actually the only thing that's going to work. Money. That's the language that you all speak. Money. In your own county, you have the merit system. The merit system is composed of classified employees under the California Education Code is to ensure selection, promotion, and retention are without favoritism or prejudice on the basis of merit and fairness. Did you hear that, Natalie? Merit and fairness. Knowledge, skill, ability with open competition. And yet, these 5 school board members continuously vote to give you a raise. For what? For gross negligence? For zero accountability? That's amazing. That is shocking. If any of us were at a job with this poor performance with grades in the 30s and 40s, we would be fired like that. You need to be fired, Natalie. All of these just sitting on the board represent over $1 million. I repeat, over $1 million in your salaries. Superintendent Natalie makes $331,000 plus. Mercedes Melvin, you make $253,000. Johnny Sparks is $5,000 for your DEI, your disruptive agendas. And Todd McAteer, $265,000. Where is the proof that you guys deserve that money? Your job performance sucks. Mike Blessing, you need to resign. I'm taking your position.
deserve better. Our students deserve a world-class education. They deserve to feel safe. And the parents need to be listening to it. Hey, you are nothing. And that's all we're doing.
Good evening. I'm here speaking on behalf of myself, but also for a lot of parents that cannot attend, and we didn't want to crowd over with all of our children. So, your job has many roles and many moving parts at all times, and we all understand that. We are all juggling and balancing act. As parents, we have given the board freedom to make positive changes and growth for our students academically, emotionally, and socially. In the last 8 years since Dr. Vitale joining our district, I have seen a drastic decline in student academics, engagement, and support. We also see the lack of staff and administration support to us parents. Our kids are the ones who end up feeling the effects of your lack of support. This board has stopped listening to the kids, and the kids are what matters. The parents and the teachers who give their hearts to these kids each and every day and show up every day, even in the worst and at times unsafe conditions. I stand in front of you all representing 100 more parents from the high schools, the middle schools, and each and every elementary school. We ask you to step up and do better, just as we ask our kids to achieve for higher goals each and every day in our school system. I know you may not fully understand why us parents keep showing up and keep seeming so frustrated, but it's because you all are not listening. Who's first, and they should always be our first and foremost concern. We want change, and the only way is parents can be the voice for their kids. We are here to be the voice, and we will not back down. We ask each and every one of you to show up and be on your campuses and see what's going on. Talk to the kids. Ask them what their favorite thing about their school is and what they wish they could change, because they're what matters. Talk openly and honestly to the staff and really hear their concerns. It seems that it stopped happening years ago, and again, us parents will be here and we will not stop asking to put our kids first. When parents at our school spoke up about a combo class that was not in the best interest of their student, a 14-year-old veteran teacher who's highly loved and appreciated by the kids and parents was removed. All because parents voiced their concerns to each of you board members who did not get a response, to our principal, our assistant principal, and to Dr. Vitale. You just disregarded their concerns. And then you removed their teacher, which caused these kids to have a disruption to their learning environment as well as their emotional well-being. What message are you sending to us parents and to our kids? That they don't matter. We speak for our kids and we will advocate for our kids. All we want is what's best for our kids, and they can't speak up because they don't feel their voices are being heard. Thank you for your time.
Nicole Johnson, Patty Gay, and Janet Helova. Good evening. There are many sex holidays being celebrated across America. And I know that they are being celebrated in Oceanside High School District because they were last year, and we just started a new school year right now. And it has come to my attention that many children will come to know far too soon. For a whole week in September, starting from the 16th all the way to the 23rd. Many children will be urged to celebrate Bisexual Awareness Week, where it is one that we like to be attracted to both males and females. It is created and sponsored by GLAD, the Gay and the Lesbian Alliance Resource Center, and where they expand the scope of sexual attraction to include children. And after Bi Week, it's Band Week by the American Library Association, which operates in school libraries here in America and especially in California. They will celebrate books that have been and still are in our district and beyond, such as gender queer, alternative belief, this book is gay, labor, poetry, and more. And not to mention all the homosexual, rape, and other formats of literature that are still in our schools, even in our elementary schools. It starts with simple, such as Julian is a Mermaid, which I did first recently. It's still available in Libby Elementary, my previous elementary school. I would love to see a rush, though, on implementing Constitution Day on
on September 17th, to educate our youth on how our country was founded, their God-given rights, and to educate them on life, living in the pursuit of happiness, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator, and that Creator is God. And then we don't know Michael Leslie and Eleanor Evans. I think I should receive our questionnaire, and I have not received it back yet, but that is okay. I do have a physical copy here today I can give you personally after this. And I would love to have your input on it available for every single citizen in Oceanside, just as your spread is on the Outsider magazine, sponsored by the Teachers Association, the Teachers Union, and it will also be available on a very, very well-known resource online to aid the community via a voter's guide for school board candidates, so that you don't just check off a box or skip it completely, because it's important to vote the right person. And the only thing I want to add, I still request input on AB 1955, the prohibiting of parental notification policies. Now remember, parents do not be notified of anything regarding your children, whether it's their pronoun changes as they begin to transition, or taking care of counseling, medication, vaccines on campus, sponsored by Planned Parenthood, or even if your child gets into a fight at school, or maybe something happens between the child and the teacher. Okay? It's a teaching that is coming from the school board, teaching administration to lie to parents. Okay? And for those who don't agree, teachers and staff, there are risks of lawsuit if they say anything to the parents. So many people don't know when the school board members. Will you implement these into your policy, or will you fight back, because the parents have the right to know everything about their children? I thank you for your time. May God's will be done in the name of Jesus.
Jen Tawaka.
I'm totally shocked at the issues occurring at multiple Oceanside Unified School sites. So today I'm going to talk about the Pablo Top School of Arts. At the August 13th board meeting, Pablo Top parents expressed concerns about the construction taking place at the school, questioning whether it was ready for students to start. Despite parents' very valid safety concerns, school began on August 15th, even though the campus was not safe, including as active construction was underway on campus, with heavy machinery operating in close proximity to students and staff. Additionally, there were several other safety issues, including students not having access to water throughout the day or shade on the playground, despite the extremely hot weather. As a result, on August 16th, I filed a warning complaint on behalf of Pablo Top families in my capacity as an educational consultant, because the health and safety of the students needed urgent attention. I had yet to receive a proper response despite the approaching 30-day deadline. Plus, I repeatedly requested that Oceanside Unified hold a meeting with Pablo Top parents to address their concerns. However, my requests were ignored, and no meeting was held. This was particularly upsetting as safety issues persisted, including a fire and power outage on August 20th, caused by a delivery truck hitting a power line, which further endangered students and staff. Despite the fact that the title page of the district school Safe School Action Plan states, all students and staff of public, primary, elementary, junior high, and senior high schools have the inalienable right to attend campuses that are safe, secure, and peaceful. California Constitution, Article 1, Section 28C, Oceanside Unified has failed to take meaningful action to uphold these promises. The district's most fundamental obligation is to protect the students entrusted to its care. Yet the situation at Pablo Top demonstrates a lack of basic planning and foresight in providing a safe, secure, and peaceful learning environment. This failure is deeply troubling. I believe the district must apologize and acknowledge its mistakes in order to restore trust and confidence among the parents, students, and staff, showing that it truly prioritizes their safety and concerns. Thank you. I ask speakers to ensure and appreciate.
Jacqueline Fisher.
President Alvarez and Dr. Vitali and all the board members. My name is Jackie. I am also a military spouse. I am speaking out on behalf of the military spouse and everyone here. That it is true that we felt that being in the military and we have this need, and we felt like our kids were less fortunate because we have to speak up and inform what is going on in that world. We're very well informed there too. Our kids are still suffering. And I came here to speak about what's happening right now with the Special Education Department. And one of those that we are experiencing is the importance of comprehensive assessments for perennial assessments for students that are receiving perennial assessments, special education services, and how essential they are to their academic and social success. According to the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, schools are required to assess students in all areas of suspected disability at least every 3 years to determine their continued eligibility for special education and the services they need to progress and access the general education curriculum. These perennial assessments are not just a legal requirement, they are essential for understanding our children's strengths and needs, where critical areas like speech, motor skills, or social and emotional development are not thoroughly evaluated. Thus, in their IEPs occur, giving students without necessary services to thrive. For children with disabilities, they have a challenge already, and we parents are advocating that when we go to the table, what happens is that our relationship with the IEP team members are not working well. Some of them are not speaking to us, or some of them are avoiding us. And then, when we reach out and send an email, it sounds like we are the one upholding it because we do not understand. Because we understand that making this incomplete assessment, it's impacting the child's progress. And how are we going to find out if our child is progressing when everybody was withholding their rights to be assessed, to get the services proper for them? We are to ensure that every child receives a comprehensive assessment that covers all suspected disability. And we want everyone to understand that in the military community, we always worry about where we're going, our spouse being in the field. We do not want them to worry at all because their job is to protect this country. And they're not supposed to worry about what they're doing because they're given a physical right so they have a basic
Thank you all for coming to the meeting tonight, and we will adjourn at 6:56. Thank you.